Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, the shout out goes to @shellman1YT516. Of course, if you want to shout out my next video, leave a like, subscribe, and comment meow or anything you want in the comments. Now on to the video. So today we're covering, is Fufu part of the super kitties? Or in some words, does she have a super kitty collar? Because if you don't have a collar, then you're not a super kitty. Or at least that's the law that I go by. So this is all my thought, by the way. It's just me theorizing, and yeah. So let's start. We can't be sure if she had all the powers. It's just a tale, by the way, and it's been so long since she really lived, so it's like they could have got a bit of it incorrect, or correct. So I just want to say though, I think Fufu had the leader's collar, Ginny's collar, for the reason that it's pink, the big jewel in the middle, or red if you refer to it, I don't know. Then we got people ask, well, she doesn't have a suit, but it's generally maybe just because time passes and it's kind of like, well, time's passed and now she has a suit because now they have suits because it's like more modern. And then people also question, well, then how are their gems heart-shaped and hers is just a circle or an oval? Well, it could generally just be time again. The fact that the heart has been eroded away from the original stone. It also leads to why Fufu may have been a bit more powerful than they are. So yeah. This is the gem when it was full. It was the original gem when it was full. So I'd also like to put the fact that this was displayed, the gem is the only bit that's powerful, not the rest, in the episode New Friend Fiasco, because Ginny had her gem on her collar, just she didn't have the rest of it because it's really sparkly once it's not in the charm, so, and she's still able to transform, so yeah, it is just the gem in the collar, so. Now, what about people say she doesn't wear a mask? Since she doesn't wear a mask, people say they saw her. Well, they'll probably just think she's a special kitty. They have no idea about it. But then we have to consider the fact, well, what about the nose to this? Well, there's only one no. It says she was brave, smart, strong. They mentioned, this is what Sparks and Ginny said together. She was super brave, smart, strong, and kind. She was like the first super kitty. So yeah, informing that she doesn't really have powers, but again, I'm gonna prove this wrong, saying where it said she was like the first super kitty. It doesn't mean she was, it just means she was like one. But that was Bitsy who said that, and she's a kid. And from this, we can infer that this is the first time that she had ever heard of Fufu. So clearly, she was going to get some facts wrong. Ginny said afterwards, sorta sounding like she was correct, but like Ginny clearly knew that that's not really the case, and rather Fufu was a super kitty, or at least that's what I think. She was just acting a bit like, yeah, I'm not gonna drop Fufu in. And also, the other kitties we can be sure because Sparks and Buddy clearly were aware of Fufu being a very important history character to the Super Kitty, so it makes sense. I just want to point out for the fact that Willa's not going to be a Super Kitty, because if she was going to be one, she would be the red one. And the thing is, Ruby will not be Ruby, not Willa. Ruby will not be a Super Kitty because Willa's the red Super Kitty. So just want to point that out. So people question, why did Ginny not mention Willa's collar? Well, it would make sense because what if she had the collar and the other kitties did not know about the collar's existence? Then she would no reason just to blurt it out randomly when she was scrolling down the list of pictures saying they're super brave, smart, strong, kind. She was the one scrolling there. So we can just say that she was probably just gonna not show the picture when it said ready or any of the other ones. It makes no sense whatsoever to suddenly say that like Willa's collar was new. obviously there could be reasons we could prove this wrong or prove this right. Yeah, I'm just saying. I still stand by my how the descendants of the super kitties work that I mentioned in my previous video. But yeah, so if you want to go see that, go check it out on my channel. So thanks for watching. Tell me your thoughts in the comments, and leave a like, subscribe. Bye.